let's get into it. This Elimination quarterfinal, like you said, this is getting in the top 4, which is one step closer to that Royale spot here.
Yeah.
For Springs. So we're opening up, and we've got the Fate going up against the Priya. So we talked about this a little bit before, during, and now, which was that we like Fate more than Mordex because you get Orb. And we've been finding that Orb is a little nice into Chakram.
Yeah, so an interesting thing is that in the winner side, Bamya picked Priya. So you think of Mordex, Gauntlets, and Scythe. So we throw away the Scythe, we pick up an Orb. It didn't work out, obviously, losing game 5. So now we throw away the Gauntlets and say, I'm going to pick up an Orb, see how Fate works out. So Bamya having the character repertoire to pick the Orb into the Chakrams, but so far making it work on the Scythe. Now picks up an Orb, looking for that KO on Small World's End. I
think my favorite theorized counter pick to this day is Dusk. But the signature kit's a little weird, and having an Orb and Spear player is like also pretty uncommon.
Yeah.
And the big thing that you get from Fate here is that you just get such high force. Sidelight side air here doesn't knock out. I thought it would, but the next one certainly will. And Bamya with the lead going into game number 1.
Yeah, the switch Chakrams now with the side air, and Bamya trying to hover center stage, but the recovery goes high, and oh, there's the down signature. You have to be careful about that down sig. It's relatively quick, and it puts a hitbox right in front of Chakram, something that split Chakram can sometimes struggle to do, especially lethally. You don't really have any way to KO like that. That down sig's a great way to wake you up, and we get a big string off the top. Obviously not the most amount of damage, but if it keeps going, it looks real bad for Bamya. GC Enlight and AmGG getting so much damage
And
there.
This is also like the Chakram problem that I encounter with other people, which is that they keep trying to challenge Chakram on the way down.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, you go around it, stop dodging down into it. It's got multi-hit moves that are meant to be a blender to catch your dodge down, to catch your dive kick.
Yeah.
That down air will spike AmGG. Let's see. Does dodge underneath the first side air, but the side air from the second attempt will connect. Bamya evens it up. But look at how much damage he took. And he took all that damage off the fresh stock, trying to get down to the ground.
Yeah, exactly, and you take more than 100 damage. So that's the thing where, like, Chakram will usher you really high up, but it'll do less than maybe 80 damage, for example, do like 50, 60 damage. But the thing is, when people, like you see, try to contest it on the way down,
and then you get comboed by the same thing again.
It's like nair and recovery, and you keep doing that enough times, another recovery.
Do it again. Yeah,
exactly.
fall into that recovery, Bamya. Let's see what happens the third time. Oh, down air does not hit.
Okay,
trying to catch those down airs. Won't spike while it's split, but we'll drag them up to get the side air follow up afterwards, which is what a lot of Chakram players are looking for. Even though I actually like fused down air more at high damage situations, because it will just knock out.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going for the move, why add the execution? But still, 2-1 lead here. Let's see if Bamya can get down.
Yeah, and I think a fused Chakram having a sidelight as well, it's like a really far poking. It's like if Orb sidelight KO'd, essentially, especially when people have no resources and they have to like drift back to the stage. Situations like that is where split or a fused actually finds a lot of success in. Seeing with the way that Chakrams will be changed soon, we might see a lot more of that. We see Bamya off stage, or forcing AmGG off stage now, getting the down air. Once again, AmGG has to recover back, but a laggier of recovery there with that, and the side air punishes from Bamya. Now we're even stocks.
Yeah, good patience coming up from Bamya on that entire edge guard, one hit at a time, and then falling down for that side air. Now onto the Scythe. Let's see if we can catch a jump here. AmGG is looking for a lot of these. They're like dash jump down airs. They're trying, if the grounded hitbox comes again, he jumps and down airs again. But that recovery, not going to catch a jump just yet. Okay, that could be huge. Bamya circles around. Oh, he fuses. Oh, I had to have been a mistake. Immediately gravity cancel D-Lights. It's like, no, stay split. Goes in for that side air right afterwards. Bamya keeping things close, but AmGG could take game 1 here.
Nice avoidance so far from AmGG, not getting reversal after whiffing the recovery. As I say that, the recovery comes out from Bamya. Sidelight sends off stage, and AmGG takes a moment to reset, gets some reprieve on the wall. Bamya, another recovery. That's like the 4th recovery this stock, and now AmGG with the damage deficit there. You can't really punish that down air with the end light, but there we do find it, and Bamya gets the end light recovery, punishing the down air in the corner, and Bamya takes game 1.
All right, well played from Bamya.
Looks good.
I wonder, like, if you take away the juggle states that happened in the middle of this game.
Yeah.
That looked really, really good for Bamya, which is what happened towards the end, right? Like, Bamya didn't take damage on this last stock because he never went in the sky again. His ground game really paid off. And I was starting to think maybe if we went to a stage with more platforms like this one,
there you
go. It's an interesting, right? Yes, Chakram likes being in the air. yes, Chakram likes to start its combos with down air. Down air can't go through platforms because of the grounded hitbox. So you're perfectly safe underneath them. Actually, why I like the triplat stages a little bit more. And triplats also give you more places to land against Chakram, whereas Chakram typically doesn't want you to be grounded.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'd like to see more of these platform stages, although I think in this case, this was AmGG to stop banning it out.
Oh, is it you? Okay, we do live that.
Yeah, but he could get it again.
No.
Chase dodges all the way up, and Bamya is still struggling to land even with these platforms. That's the counterpoint to my argument, which is that platforms mean you get closer to the blast zone, which also is good for Chakram. So we'll have to see if that matters. But like you said, how much damage do you take from those combos, PJ? Look at how much damage Bamya has. He was twice kissing the blast zone at the top there, and yet he still has a lead.
Exactly. A big lead at that, and now with the Orb online, you need a side light side air to close out this stock.
Ooh,
or
Ensig.
Yeah,
okay.
GC Ensig, you end up on the soft platform as well. The sword recovery almost enough to KO. Exhausted, the nairs come out as well. Bamya fighting back with that down air and then the GC side light, but that time it's too much.
It's not even a Chakram problem. Sword doesn't do that to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
like Bamya's actually holding down out of hit stun and just landing into 2 recoveries and an air right afterwards. He doesn't care. He just wants to hold down.
Yeah, and that's something that, you know, especially when you're on Orb there, it's like, I don't really know if I agree with, like, swinging with down air. Like, very, very rarely are you going to actually hit a sword player, like, diagonally down and forward of you. So
there's very few weapons that can do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why would they ever be there? Yeah.
That's like it.
Yeah.
Not too many weapons can battle their way down. Sword's got good range, but the Orb is not there on that list. Cider will finally knock out. Was looking for that Cider for 2 minutes, basically. But didn't take too much damage. Most of the hits coming out from AmGG was on the split Chakram. Now we're over onto the sword, and we might see more sword from him. No, okay, that's fine. I've liked what I've been seeing from AM's sword when it hits, but he just goes right back to the Chakram.
Nice avoidance, and AMG just hold on to the soft platform. Tries to go for a dash off into the down air, trying to scoop up Bamya, holding that center station. So we see Bamya like finding a lot of safety underneath the platform and then trying to swing up with an air. That time a recovery catches AmGG. AmGG having to drop below the platform and recovery to scoop up and start juggles above the platforms, but hasn't been working out so much. Bamya gets punished there, though.
There and there. Okay. The punish did come while AmGG was sweating, though. But once again, Bamya just floating around off the top of the stage, taking a good amount of damage so far. Does avoid that end light, and that slide charge side stake not going to connect. Recovery gets punished by his recovery, but Chakram's split recovery is so weak that it does the damage to take out the weapon. Excellent combo there. I'd say it's newer. Newer relative to, I only saw like one player doing it at max mode, and that was Sandstorm, which is that if you do side light, drags them back, and then you do down light, which fuses your Chakram, the fuse, unlike the split, is actually a knockout move. It sends them flying.
Yeah, because you fuse into the KOing side. It's
and a true combo.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So well played coming out from AmGG.
Yeah, so you don't even need fuse side light anymore because you can just confirm into the fuse. But okay, AmGG. I mean, you can't be on the wall there when the down airs come out. Bamya gets juggled so much. Bamya trying to fight back with a side light there. Gets the side light into the end light. Goes for a read the recovery as well as Bamya tries to swing off stage. And AmGG is picking apart the Fate right now. This stage counter pick has been working out so far for AmGG.
Yeah, and I'm beginning to realize, Bamya, don't go to a stage with platforms because it just takes you longer to get down. Because you go to the platform first, then you pretend like that's the stage. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is not working out the way that I thought. AmGG very comfortable here, gets that recovery. At this stage of the game, I'd almost be like, just play Fuse the rest of the game. If that was like a pickup recovery on Fuse Chakram, which would have knocked out, and you've got so much damage, you don't need these combos on Split, but it's a little bit faster. Here we go. Nope, splits it. He's like, I want to do 3 more recoveries.
It's so interesting. But we'll see it here. Potentially another side light into down light. Bamya, I mean, slowing it down as well, realizing, like, I kind of need to wait for AmGG to make a move here. And
he will. He's going to recovery, like, 50 times. Okay, dare recovery will do it.
Super dark red damage.
And for clarification, it's not, like, exactly a 1-to-1 trade-off between Split and Fused. Split recovery, in exchange for its less distance and less knockout power, does come out 4 frames sooner than if you were to fuse it. Yep. Fuse recovery also, depending on how you steer it, does drop. And that's not very fun for a lot of people, which is why I think most people just say, forget about fused. We'll just stay on split. We'll get the recovery at the top of the stage. But still, I'd like to see some more of those adaptations, but it doesn't really come into play here in Game 2. Bamya is going to bring us to Fortress of Lions to game number 3.
I like the pick here. Obviously, it's not always with a platform, so you're not always having to deal with chakrams having a platform to extend ladders, but all things considered, we'll see how this one plays out. Obviously, the game number 1 with no soft platforms worked out. Game 2 with 2 didn't work out. Maybe 1, we'll see who really comes out on top in these stage picks.
Yeah, Scythe being picked up now. Dare recovery will put Bamya towards the top of the stage. That's scary.
Yeah, really, really scary there. It kind of looks similar to what the down air looks like, so you get hit with the ground pound and you're like, wait a minute, I got sent downwards.
Recovery gets punished by a Sair, or rather it gets traded. No down air follow-up right afterwards, but that will just send Bamya up towards the sky. Yeah, honestly, just keep the juggle stick going on, AM. I think that it's been working great. Dare recovery, and honestly, as much as he was trying to chase for more damage there, that's also surprising because sword delight recovery would
just KOs, and it's exactly what you're doing, where you're conditioning people to land in weird spots because you know they're just struggling to get back down. GC downlight recovery just KOs on sword recovery there on the split.
Sometimes I'm watching AM play, and he has a little bit of time unfused where he like hit a fused Sair, and then I felt like that gravity cancel delight was almost like a wait a second, I'm not split, and then he's like, wait, this could have comboed, and he didn't, because he could have delight combos. It's a combo starter.
Yeah.
If you split, but despite all the shenanigans there, he's still solidly in the lead here. Bamya looking like he's struggling a little bit to get started.
Yeah, this is tough, and I mean, realistically, how do you deal with the chakram that's jumping away from you this much? You do whiff punish that recovery, and we use the down airs as a way to continue momentum and stall in the air a little bit. GC and Sig, a way to not only move yourself forward, but also flip the situation. Now Bamya gets hit with 3 down airs into the nair, into the side air for some nice damage. Bamya now bleeding out. You need to stop the bleeding.
Okay, AmGG has discovered that, yes, your momentum does slow down when you dare, and now he's having a lot of fun with it. That triple dare in an air Sair was crazy coming out from AM, and Bamya now he managed to even things up. Okay,
look at the damage.
That's great damage. Yeah, and Scythe, unlike Split Chakram, that damage adds up after a lot more hits. I mean, three nairs in a row.
Yeah, I could do that too, man. I'll juggle you as well the same way, but with a weapon that actually does big damage, and now Bamya has a damage lead here.
I wonder how punishable Fate Ensig would be on Scythe for how much AmGG is in this space where like a slightly charged Ensig would cover all of that. I just wonder how bad it would be. I guess you just jump over it and down air him.
I think so, but I think if Bamya utilizes like the side hitboxes of the no charge signature, you can't really punish it on chakrams.
I'm curious. It couldn't just be on miss that's then like so bad that you just get hit anyways. But AmGG gets that side sig. Bamya tries to get back to the stage. Oof. Falling Sair there, enough to knock out as well.
Yeah.
The nice thing about split chakram Sair is that, unlike Orb Sair, you can continue steering it forward or backwards as the move flies out. So he kind of drags Bamya forward with him to bring him closer to the blast zone before the knockout comes through. Now he's 1 stock away from bringing this to match point.
Nice snare into recovery again. The damage is slowly building up, and I mean, like it's obviously like a lot of hits, but now the damage starts to rack up as you get juggled the second time the same way. Now you're approaching that 100 damage mark, where you're not exactly like worried about getting KO'd versus Split Chakram, but it's starting to get annoying for sure. The recovery comes in from Bamya now, looking to get a punish, but he's been swinging too late.
Ensig? I don't know how he got up there. That was crazy.
You know, Orb Ensig is not bad at punishing down air as well on Chakrams. You have,
but I imagine it catches you before the move comes out, right?
I think you can probably find a way to do it.
Yeah.
I believe in Bamya here.
Ensig does get punished. Sair will do it. I don't even think Split Chakram recovery knocks out just yet.
Nope.
So hopefully for AmGG's sake, his sword's ready to go. Let's see if Bamya can make this comeback.
Holding the weapon star if you're saying.
That's huge. He's low and jumps.
Oh, there's the down air. One more hit. GC N-Light the wrong way. Maybe should have went for a down air instead, but AmGG taps in the game with the D-Light into ground pound unarmed.
Dare.
So close.
Nair. I think I would have liked Nair better there than like. It was like, what does gravity cancel N-Light do? I guess it gets
recovery
you jump. It gets
into
you
the
jump
wall.
Nair, but it looked like that positioning was a little too close. It might have put him over the stage.
We'll see it here. Side light. Down air.
Dare here, I'm thinking Nair.
Weapon toss GC downlight.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, right? Like you're trying to be in that clutch, and he doesn't manage to do it. It's over double the damage, not over, around double the damage from AmGG. going into game number 3, match point now, and Bamya is done with the orb experiment. Only 67 damage came out from the orb, equal to his unarmed.
Yeah.
We were talking about how we liked the weapon in the matchup, but if Bamya can't make it work, you might as well go to what's practiced. The Mordex is going to come out here for game 4.
Yeah, like I think that one of the biggest counterplays that you have as an orb player is you can jump nair and whiff punish down air because it's a little bit horizontal, very vertical. But we weren't seeing that from Bamya. Bamya wasn't going for it.
None of it.
Don't do it. Don't pick this. Don't pick that weapon if you're not going to go for things like that. If you just don't have ready, it's just not worth playing it.
And we were seeing him basically only use the weapon for signatures that were getting punished anyways.
Exactly.
So let's see how the gauntlets play here against AmGG's style of Chakram as he spot dodges the ground pound, and I think that's the stock. Touches the stage and the ground pound comes out right afterwards. I think Am was also a little surprised that he got the wall touch in the way that he did because of how he didn't react to that ground pound. So solid start from Bamya here. Not even thinking about that lightsaber. It's just there for show.
So interesting because I would definitely want to at least try to use the sword a little bit versus this.
I love it. The idea that I have behind how players play Chakram is it feels like they're loading their weapon. They like pick it up and they're like, I have to downlight to use it. Like, if I don't downlight, it's not a weapon. Like AmGG literally like slid off the stage. He gave up center stage control in favor of transforming to split Chakram, and look how much damage he's taken here. Bamya looking so much better on the Mordex. It's not even close.
If splitting Chakram inflicted 50 damage on you, Chakram players would still do it.
They'd still do it.
They would still do it every
time. You're not even wrong, and that's well, if it was once a game. Because I think after a while, they probably just would have picked the weapon. But this is how it feels. Another ground pound comes through. The dare into Sair. I don't even think it's enough. That weapon throw will get it. Nice.
AmGG so smart. Gets the down air there, realizing no way I can confirm. I have to chase dodge, and goes for the side air, realizing Bamya wants to dodge as well. I love the edge guard there from AmGG, and he gets back in this game slightly. Of course, the damage looks really good for Bamya's favor, but we'll see.
Flying around the Chakram recoveries, trying to get Bamya in that juggle state. That's where all the damage comes in from AmGG.
Nice avoidance there on that signature.
Didn't like that nair right afterwards, though. Doesn't get a punish. On the side of the stage, this didn't work out for you last time.
Okay, yeah, Bamya
Why is it going to work
wins.
out for you now? Like, when I see him doing that slow slide on, like, the side of the stage, I'm like, Bamya has got to be in your head with that, right? That's, okay, gets the downer right afterwards, spikes him straight down. It's not worked out for AmGG ever when he holds the side of the stage.
It really feels like AmGG gets into like two very distinct modes of like down air or side light, and doesn't really like swap between the two modes as proficiently as someone like Vem10 Kilo. It's kind of so. I'm not trying to say like AmGG is very linear as a player.
He's waiting for his there's the split. I think you know what? You might not be trying to say it, but I'll try to say it. Yeah. I think it is a little linear. At least how it's showing off in this Mordex.
It's like he's in down air mode right now. Like he wants nothing but down air. He's like, I'm not gonna. And then now we see side six. You see what I'm saying? Like. He just wants to play in the air, and that's all he wants to do. And Bamya is like kind of beginning to pick up on that and read it and punish it accordingly using the ground.
And I'm glad, because I think that if you take away the juggles, I don't know what AmGG has against Bamya in this matchup. And I think he's starting to realize that too. We'll see if that stays in game number 5. That's a great knockout there, ending game number 4. Yeah. 200 damage difference. And there was... Yeah, there was a lot of difficulties here on this right side of the stage. Bamya just completely destroyed him. Another edge guard comes out. I think that was from AmGG getting a reversal, right? But it was a 3 stocks to 2 situation. And then we get the finisher there with the side sig.
Yeah, the other side was AmGG touching the wall, not realizing it, and then Bamya going for like a very delayed ground pound, and actually works out. But I mean, so far, like, we gotta at least try the sword. I feel like the sword.
No, we're not.
You don't think so?
No, I agree with you, but we're not. When I see him pick up the weapon, it feels like it's like a hot potato. Like it's like literally burning his hands. Yeah. He just wants to throw it at the enemy, and he'll do it. He does not. He
didn't even throw it at the enemy.
No, he just does, he wants to get it off the screen. And I think this is such a detriment
to the playstyle. Like you're literally developing conditioning to start picking up a sword and then GC downlight. Like the conditioning is literally perfect, but you just don't go for it.
Well, we'll see if it applies, because we are on the stage here where Bamya has like there's like a magnet installed on his scythe that brings him to the side plats so that AmGG can juggle him. Yeah. And so I'm a little worried about this stage.
Ooh, he goes for ground pound there on the immediate option in AmGG. I mean,
these are the highest side plats in Brawlhalla. Yeah. Is on Miami Dome. And so While my platform theory I think holds for triplats because they're so low to the ground where you can like do a grounded punish, things get a lot tougher here. And this is AmGG's comfort zone as well. And now I'm a little scared because I'm like, okay, Bamya had such a great game plan with a lead. I don't know what he does with a full stock deficit. He might just get destroyed.
And AmGG swapped from just only going for down airs, and instead now we're playing towards the ground. And like side lights, and then starting it, we see landing side airs as well. So this is where the adaptation comes in from AmGG. Says, I got multiple modes, but I still got those down airs to keep you in check. And now he's playing the grounded state. He's like, you know what? I'm willing to get these normals, these light attacks on the ground out and get combos started through that way.
And now what do you do when a Chakram player with a lead is 2 jump heights away from you all the time? I guess you lose.
We'll see if Bamya can make something happen on the gauntlets, but right now it looks like dire straits and just, curtain slowly closing in on Bamya. We'll see if he can make something happen here towards the wall, but there we get the sidelight into the fuse, but it doesn't KO.
Yeah, I think the verdict here is very clear for me. This is probably Chakram's best stage.
Yeah.
I think it gets rid of the issue that I saw, right? Like, if say you're on Mishima Dojo and you're Chakram down airing on the side plats, most characters have a move that hits up far enough that they can punish that without getting hit. That is not the case here, unless you're playing like what? I don't know.
Cannon Nair.
No, there's very few signatures that reach. Koji, I guess.
Yeah, Koji.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not sniping people sitting on these side plats. It's so brutal. Bamya on the verge of getting 3 stocks. The Nair comes through. What happened to the Bamya game plan that we saw before? Finally, Enza comes through. That'll get 1 punish on the aerial playstyle here. Let's see if he can get another one.
PR number 3, the previous winner of Winter Championship EU 1v1s, is looking to fight and make this Game 5 comeback story versus the AmGG Priya here. We get a recovery there. Bamya now getting scooped up as he can't find safety underneath those platforms anymore versus the split chakrams. An air comes out, a side air, a nair, a side air. That's some big damage for Bamya. And now AmGG, the one getting sweat beated off the top, but doesn't get a big punish. And now Bamya, I mean, look at the respect. He dashed the entire full screen away back into the corner. Now AmGG realizing Bamya doesn't have many options on where to go.
He just keeps landing on top of him. He just keeps going. He's just gravitating towards him. The blades.
Here we go.
Clipping him every single time. Gets the recovery. Okay. Nice. Go dodge.
Oh, down there.
The down.
And the ground pound comes out. Bamya now with very few resources. Down air into ground or to another down air doesn't connect.
Gravity cancel side.
That's such a big deal.
Yeah, huge recovery move. Ends up hitting with it as well. Bamya not prepared for it. And another side sig will come through. Not going to knock out just yet, but AmGG very close. Goes in for that down air into down air side air. That's going to be the knockout, and that's going to be a 2-stock. Game 5 goes over to AmGG, a considerable upset in my mind. I think a lot of lessons learned as well from how the matchup plays out. Bamya handedly was winning every game. That wasn't Miami Dome. He got 2-stock both times on Miami Dome. And the reasons I now see are clear. I think you can just evaluate it based off of how many jumps it takes you to get to a side plant. Miami Dome's